Welcome back and thank you for being here. In today's video, I want to speak directly to those of you born under the sign of Scorpio, the deep feelers, the silent observers, the ones who crave truth, intensity, and soulful connection. March 30th, 2025 marks a powerful shift in the astrological landscape, and for Scorpios, this could be a pivotal turning point. Planetary movements are aligning in a way that opens space for emotional transformation, healing from the past, and inviting in a new kind of love or a deeper version of the love you already have. I'm here not to predict your fate, but to help you understand the energy that's unfolding, how it might affect your relationships, your sense of self, even your financial world. Think of this as a guide, a map, or simply a mirror to help you navigate what's ahead with greater clarity and intention. So, what exactly is the universe whispering to you? And why is this moment so significant? Let's explore it layer by layer. Financial energy, especially under the influence of Venus on March 30th, 2025, isn't just about income, expenses, or budgets. For Scorpio, money is rarely just about money. It's deeply tied to trust, control, power, and emotional safety. That's why this period is asking you to look at your financial life not in isolation, but as a reflection of your emotional landscape, and in particular, how you build or dismantle intimacy through it. If you're in a relationship, it's time to ask some honest questions. Are we aligned in how we earn, save, and spend? Are we building something together? Or is money becoming a silent source of tension between us? These are not just logistical concerns. They're emotional checkpoints. For Scorpios, financial transparency equals emotional trust. When things are left unsaid, it doesn't just feel confusing, it feels threatening. This is your invitation to bring clarity into the conversation and build a financial foundation that is mutual, stable, and emotionally safe. And if you're single, this is an opportunity to reflect on your values around financial compatibility. What are your non-negotiables when it comes to sharing resources, investing in a future, or navigating different income levels? You deserve a connection where both people are committed to lifting each other, not weighing each other down. Use this period to define your boundaries, not from a place of fear, but from a deep knowing of what you truly need in order to feel respected, supported, and secure. At the same time, reflect on your own relationship with money. Are you using finances as a way to gain control when emotions feel too vulnerable? Or are you avoiding financial responsibility because it triggers fears of failure or not being enough? Venus invites you to soften, not to become careless, but to approach money with more emotional awareness and less rigidity. Your financial life is asking to become more aligned with your emotional truth. This isn't just about managing your money well. It's about choosing financial honesty as a vehicle for deeper connection with yourself and with others. The way you handle financial conversations now will either build trust or slowly erode it. It's in your hands. And from this place of truth, emotional, financial, and relational, we now arrive at the deeper work, the development of your inner world. Because no partnership, no income, no external security can truly fulfill you if it's not built upon a strong and conscious sense of self. In the next section, we'll explore how Scorpio can strengthen that inner foundation and become fully ready, not just to receive love, but to sustain it. Venus moving into harmonious alignment with your sign brings more than just external charm. It activates something deeper. You may notice people being drawn to you in subtle yet undeniable ways. There's a magnetic current around you now, and while it might not be loud or obvious, it's potent. Your presence speaks louder than words, and those who are emotionally attuned will feel it without you needing to explain a thing. If you're single, this period could mark the beginning of a meaningful connection, one that feels familiar as though your souls have known each other before. But for Scorpios, love is never just about the spark. You're not here for fleeting chemistry. You're drawn to the kind of bond that strips away illusions and gets to the truth of who someone really is. That's exactly what Venus is encouraging now. Not just romance, but resonance. You want to be seen, understood, and accepted in your most unfiltered form, and you're ready to offer the same in return. If you're already in a relationship, this is a powerful window to soften walls, deepen vulnerability, and restore emotional intimacy. Maybe things have felt stagnant or unspoken tensions have created distance. Venus is offering you a path back to closeness, not through grand gestures, but through quiet presence and genuine connection. A shared look, a long conversation, a moment of openness can shift everything. But Venus doesn't only offer sweetness, it also brings clarity. This may be the moment where you finally see whether your current relationship has the emotional depth you crave. You may feel a pull to be more honest about what you need, what you're no longer willing to settle for, and whether the love you're giving is truly being received. What's unfolding now isn't just about attracting someone. It's about aligning with the kind of love that honors who you've become. And for that to happen, you need space to feel, to listen to your instincts, and to make choices rooted not in fear, but in truth. This leads us to another layer. What happens when the past comes back? Because when Venus turns retrograde, especially for someone as emotionally intuitive as you, old energies can resurface. The next section will explore what it means to revisit past connections during this cycle and how to know whether it's time to reopen a door or finally close it for good. When Venus goes retrograde, the past tends to resurface, not always physically, but emotionally, energetically. You may find yourself thinking about someone you thought you were done with. A name, a memory, a feeling might rise unexpectedly, bringing with it a question. Is there something unresolved here, or is this just a test of how far you've come? For Scorpio, these moments are never superficial. You don't revisit the past lightly, but this time is different because you're different. You've done the inner work. You've come to understand your own emotional patterns, your fears, your boundaries. You're no longer driven by longing. You're guided by clarity. So if someone reappears, either in person or in your heart, it's important to pause and ask the right questions. Not do I still feel something, but does this connection serve the person I am now? And is there mutual growth, or am I stepping back into an old story out of habit or nostalgia? You might feel a flicker of what once was, but don't confuse emotional intensity with emotional safety. Just because someone feels familiar doesn't mean they're meant to return. Venus retrograde invites you to reassess what love really means to you now. Not years ago, not in your old emotional language, but from the place of strength and self-awareness you now stand in. If there is an opportunity for reconnection, make sure it's grounded in truth. Are both of you willing to acknowledge the past honestly, not rewrite it? Are both of you willing to show up differently this time? Otherwise, the door that opens may just lead to the same cycle. And if the answer is no, if you realize that what once was can no longer meet the depth of who you've become, then trust yourself to let go. With grace, with finality. Because sometimes closure doesn't come from a conversation, but from the clarity that you no longer need one. This period isn't just about revisiting what was. It's about creating space for what could be, real, present, aligned. And as you clear the emotional residue of the past, you open a path for the kind of partnership that meets you where you are now. In the next section, we'll look at how to recognize whether your current connections support your growth or quietly hold you back. Saturn's influence during this time brings a quieter, more serious energy to your emotional world. It doesn't sweep in with dramatic changes. It asks for discipline, honesty, and most of all, boundaries. And for Scorpio, boundaries aren't always easy. You feel deeply, you commit fully, and when you care with everything. But that depth requires protection. It requires clarity about what is acceptable and what is no longer tolerable. This is a moment to get honest with yourself. Where have you allowed blurred lines in the hope that things would improve? Where have you stayed quiet to keep the peace, even when something inside you was unsettled? Saturn isn't here to punish, it's here to help you take responsibility for your emotional integrity. And sometimes that means walking away from what's familiar but no longer aligned. You are being asked to say no without guilt, to recognize that love without respect is not love in a form you're meant to hold on to. If a connection feels inconsistent, unclear, or quietly draining, it's not your job to fix it. Your job is to honor what your intuition has been telling you, even if it means letting go. There's strength in releasing something that no longer supports your growth. It's not failure, it's maturity, it's self-love. And the space you create through these decisions is not empty, it's sacred. It becomes the ground where something healthier, more stable, more reciprocal can eventually grow. This boundary work prepares you for deeper alignment with others, yes, but more importantly with yourself. And as Saturn helps you reinforce your emotional foundation, another planetary influence is ready to expand your world in a different direction. In the next section, we'll explore how Jupiter invites you to step beyond what's safe and into the unexpected connections and new possibilities waiting to meet you. Love for Scorpio is never just about how you feel, it's also about what you build together. And one of the most revealing areas of a relationship isn't the emotional highs, but how you navigate practical realities like money, shared responsibilities, and long-term goals. This is one of those times when the emotional and material worlds intersect, and you're being asked to have honest conversations about both. If you're in a relationship, it may be time to ask, are we working toward the same vision of the future? Do we share the same values when it comes to spending, saving, and investing? Not just financially, but energetically. These questions aren't about judgment, they're about clarity. Because when your resources are aligned, your connection becomes stronger. When they're not, tension builds, not always in loud arguments, but in the subtle erosion of trust and direction. And if you're just starting something new or are opening to the idea of partnership, this is your opportunity to define what financial harmony looks like for you. What are your boundaries around money? What kind of support do you need? And what are you willing to give? Financial compatibility isn't just about numbers. It's about respect, communication, and shared effort. Avoid the urge to stay silent to keep the peace. Talking about money can feel vulnerable, but avoiding it creates distance. You're being called to approach these conversations not with fear or control, but with openness. Be clear about your needs. Ask how your partner views responsibility. Talk about what stability means to each of you, because clarity in this area strengthens the entire foundation of the relationship. And beyond the dynamics with others, this is also a moment to reflect on your personal financial path. Are you making choices that align with your values? Are you investing in things, people, plans, or habits that support your emotional well-being as well as your material security? Venus reminds you that love and money are often connected, not because love should be transparency and shared intention to thrive. This balance between emotional and material worlds leads into a deeper truth. The most sustainable love begins with inner wholeness. As we move into the next section, we'll explore how building your own foundation, emotionally, spiritually, and practically, is the key to attracting and sustaining the kind of connection you truly desire. Mercury, your cosmic guide in communication, is now shining a light on how you express yourself and, just as importantly, how you listen. For Scorpio, words have never been thrown around carelessly. You value meaning, depth, and truth, but sometimes your instinct to protect your inner world can make you hold back, speak in layers, or leave things unsaid. This period asks for something different: clarity over mystery, presence over protection. Say what you mean. Let your voice carry the truth of what you feel, even if it feels vulnerable. Mercury encourages you to speak not to impress, but to connect. And not only with romantic partners. This applies to every relationship in your life, including the one you have with yourself. This is also a time to listen, not just to what is being said, but to what is behind the words. Pay attention to tone, to silence, to the emotions underneath. Ask questions that go deeper. Allow the people in your life to feel truly heard. This isn't about fixing or controlling the conversation. It's about creating space for honesty to breathe. When communication becomes a two-way flow of sincerity, walls begin to dissolve. You no longer feel the need to analyze every signal or second-guess someone's intention. There is peace in clarity, even if the truth isn't always easy. And for you, Scorpio, truth is always better than illusion. This shift in communication will naturally lead you to stronger, more emotionally fulfilling relationships, but only if you're willing to let people see you fully, not just the composed, powerful version, the soft, uncertain parts too, because that's where intimacy begins, in the space where both people feel safe enough to show up without armor. As we move forward, remember that all of these themes, trust, boundaries, truth, and connection, are only sustainable if your inner world is rooted and alive. In the final section, we'll explore how self-development isn't a separate path from love, but the very ground it grows from. This moment in time, starting March 30th, isn't asking you to become someone else. It's inviting you to come home to yourself more fully, to let go of what no longer serves you, to speak your truth with courage, to choose connections that honor your depth, and to remember that your sensitivity is not a weakness. It's your greatest source of wisdom and power. Whatever comes next, whether it's love returning, love beginning, or love transforming, the most important relationship is still the one you hold with yourself. Keep building that. Protect it and let it guide every choice you make. I'll be here with you through the shifts to come. Until next time, take care of your heart and trust that everything unfolding now is leading you exactly where you're meant to be.